Hello, this is Lisa Luciardin here with the news of Lisa Luciardin here in Texas. We need to realize that thousands and thousands of lives have been lost in America. Thousands and millions of people's homes and all their belongings in their life have been lost in America under the North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida disasters. I believe this is a weathering of crimes that was produced to control the desires of the Democrat elite communists because they want, number one, the lithium plant up in North Carolina and the Tennessee. They want to destroy all the agriculture, and it's an after an effect of the weathering in Florida also. We need to pray for our country. We need to realize that we could overcome these disasters in prayer and ask for redemption in America. We need to follow suit. This shows that we cannot vote in elite communists. This is to control their hierarchies of communists in our offices in the Democratic Party under Kamala and Biden. And Kamala allowed the opening of the borders, and the borders also is a very big issue. And I says 1 out of every 10 people would be affected, even the immigrants. And they're selling the immigrants, human trafficking, and police in San Antonio are being hired to human traffic and sell the immigrants, and they're being flown in, and the monies are being used instead of the monies for FEMA. This is terrible. And then they're also allowing the big companies to take all the monies for in control of the big names to help with anything that they're going to be doing to correct the disaster of North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida. But they wanted the disaster. The people now need homes. That thousands and thousands of people's lives have been lost. This is terrible. But so what is this saying? These are all string of events that are caused, as I told you, that there's going to be a big disaster before the voting in of President Trump, that there'll be big disasters to try to control our America. This is also international powerhouses that are being integrated into our democratic communist. And under Kamala is a Democrat elite communist. She is treason against her own country with the open borders, the worst that we ever could have. Our country's never been in more disaster. And just like our beautiful, lovely lady in Chicago, she was in the Chicago courthouse and said that the Pharaoh was the Democrat elite communist. You could see her. She's a lay person, and her name is Jackson. And so she said that they've put all the Americans last, and there's many things that need to be corrected in Chicago, but they brought these immigrants in that many are criminal. And the thing is that those immigrants, their countries have much money. They're billionaires. Not only the leaders, but there's billionaires in their country, but they use the people. They use the people for their own good. So there has to be negotiations if all the illegal immigrants are not going back. We need to use the commodities of the other billionaires in billionaire countries, billionaire leaders that we demand if the immigrants are not going back. This is terrible. There's so many lists of things. I told you that this is a string of events that was caused and planned to bring down and control America. This is terrible. And this is terrible. And our beautiful DeSantis, our great man DeSantis, also has to deal with Kamala and the terrible, terrible government. And I pray that the Milton hurricane will stop completely at this very moment, and everyone pray that there'll be no disaster, no more disaster at all. But this shows that this is a string of events. We know now that this was a weathering that they caused to bring down North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida. Please listen. This shows that we need to vote in freedom. Freedom of the people. Freedom of your land. Freedom of your legacy. Freedom of the children. Freedom of the past, present, and future. This is Lisa Luciardin. We need to vote President Trump. And we need to realize, did you see that if we don't have freedom of speech, we won't have life and to be individuals. And even if we don't want our children to be in a system that teaches transgender and LGBTQ. We have the right to say what we want. We have the right to say if someone charged extra on our accounts. This is very serious. And I noticed when you're a speaker or you speak out for freedom, they cut you out in other ways. They penalize you. I've had it with my own life, but I am strong in God's purpose and love. And this is a divine command and not a threat, but a warning of truth. The immigrants that are communists and elite communists who use them as criminals, they're going to go eventually against the elite communists and the people. And they don't have ethics, and they'll come together and go against the elite communists, the Democrats, because the elite communist Democratic have another, it's not one world government just in America. We also have geopolitical problems of China and Russia and other countries. This is very serious. We need to stop this right away, and we need to vote President Trump. You know all the problems. All these, I said, Lisa Luchard, and I said that there's a list of problems. This was a pre-planned to take us down. And I believe this is one of the main things that they want to do is take America down. Then also we have to realize that they want World War III. We need to come together in truth. And I told you all about Hurricane. Putin wanted to settle 2022, and Zelensky wanted to go ahead. And I believe that he wanted to stop the war, but they wanted to make money on the military tools, the democratically communists made by America, because they knew that Hurricane had commodities as a harvest and they could pay them back. And Israel has to protect themselves, but we need to realize we need to bring in peace and justice. And now he's trying to protect Lebanon. I know Lebanese people. We wouldn't want Hamas to come and control our country and control our life, just like Hamas and Hezbollah wanted to control Israel. This is serious. We need to come together in truth and rectification of truth by voting in freedom. Kamala cannot take care of America. She'll be controlled by the elite communists. And we need to have our beautiful Cuban wake up to realize that he is a very wealthy, genius, beautiful man, beautiful family, but everyone's not like him, and the people will be controlled. His grandchildren will weep in tears and see the people in death of not being able to develop as the human being they're supposed to under the Democratic Communist Party. And to 10 to 30 years, if we continue with the Democratic Elitist Party, we could have disaster against our whole nation. Because we have disaster against our nation between the people that are elite communists, that are Americans, against the American people who did the weathering control to bomb our country and destroy it and control that by weathering. And what about the chemical trails they want to kill us? What about the EMFs they want to kill us? The foods. They call it globalization. It's worse than that. These are crimes, but we know there's always been Nebuchadnezzars that are evil. Just like the lady said, Jackson said in Chicago, these are pharaohs of evil. There is evil. And we need to protect our nation and our country. My name is Lisa Luchard, and I have solutions. But first, we need to take hold of our country and bring it back to the heart of Americans, to the heart of the people, to bring justice first, to bring peace first, and protection. And we need to realize that the police need to come to truth and not work for the human trafficking to sell and let all the immigrants in and use the monies from the FEMA money to sell them in trafficking. They're set up in San Antonio. Did you see that? And all the foods taken away and collected, and all the supplies of their own people taken away from North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida. And I bless all those people. But we know that we could come together in truth, but we have to vote freedom. We have to vote Trump. Just like Mari said, we have to vote Trump. Our country will it will be taken by the third world country. That's what I believe. There'll be nuclear warfare. There is nuclear warfare already in our country. Set up in offices, ready to go. But they're going to try to take us inside to do it sociologically. You see that? And other items. We need to come together in truth. I could sit here for days. You know all the news. Many of you know the news more than I do. But I want to tell you, I know the real news. The real news is that we need to put God first in America, and we have a covenant with God under the prayer of the Continental Congress of 1774 and 1776 with President Washington. Our country has the power and strength of God's hand upon her, and we can overcome these powerhouse people with power of strength of God's purpose. And we have more people. We are quantity, but we also are quality of justice. We don't need to follow all their directions and buy their foods and follow all the directions, but we need to come together. And I believe the military is eventually going to come through and be on Trump's side. This is what I asked years ago, to have the military come with Trump and open our own America. The military, they know that there's certain world controls that will come from another country. They need to come with us. And you need to vote in President Trump, vote in Elon Musk, RFK, Vivek, Tulsi, all those people. J.D. Vance, this is it. And the American people. This is Lisa Luciardo, and I have solutions. And I told you we can make bonds of Bitcoin to sell the bonds, and that's how we can use for the infrastructure. We can do our fossil fuels, the liquid gas. We have everything we need. Why would they don't need to bomb North Carolina and Tennessee, bomb it with weathering. This is terrible because they're the Nebuchadnezzar of evil. And this is a warning, there will be some problems with these people. But we need to vote in freedom. Why would you vote in Democrat elite communists and kill your country, kill your life, your freedoms? Come together, brothers and sisters. This is Lisa Luciardo. Vote President Trump. Thank you. Vote President Trump is voting in God's first for freedom. The reason why they want to kill him, and they're not going to, is because he wants freedom for America. And many people, like the freedom fighters, myself, they've killed me and I've come back to life. Many times they've tried to kill, and they do suppressing. And biowarfare, I have a history, I have a report on biowarfare. This is terrible. We need to come together in love, in peace, in strength, and never give up, never give in. God bless you. Vote President Trump is voting the American people. Thank you. This is Lisa Luciardo, and we're having an international meeting this month on Facebook. It will be announced. Thank you so much.